Hello, and welcome to this training recording to help with peer review and your role as an academic editor. Today we're going to be covering the following points. Firstly, why inviting reviewers can be needed, what to look for in a reviewer, how to find reviewers, and the tools you can use to help you, how to invite reviewers in EM and how to navigate EM, and some extra things to be aware of when inviting reviewers. Please note, a lot of what's being covered in this recording can also be found on our website, so do take a moment to explore our resources and support online. When should you invite peer reviewers and why are they needed? You invite peer reviewers after you've agreed to handle a manuscript, usually within the first 1 to 2 weeks after you've agreed. The first few days are for you to evaluate the manuscript yourself and decide if it's good enough to progress to peer review. Once this is completed, that's when you invite reviewers. However, there are some select circumstances where you don't need to send a paper to peer review, such as desk rejections. Sometimes you'll see a paper, and due to your experience and knowledge in the subject area, you'll determine that significant revisions need to be undertaken by the authors before any peer review is needed, or that it's scientifically unsuitable and should be rejected at this stage. In these cases, you should still accept to handle a paper if it's within your area of expertise, even if you don't think it's good for peer review, as you don't have to send it on for further review and can make a decision as an AE. In these cases, you need to provide appropriate comments to the authors, outlining why the manuscript isn't suitable for peer review, and they should be based on the journal's publication criteria. These decisions help keep our publication standards high and not burden our reviewers with work which is unneeded. It also helps ensure manuscripts aren't delayed and authors can get on with needed improvements immediately. We know finding reviewers can be difficult. However, these are the minimum requirements for peer review at PLOS. Firstly, all accept decisions must go through peer review, separate to your review as an editor. Certain journals can have different requirements regarding the number of peer reviewers each manuscript will need, so be sure to check our website for specific information. You can act as an additional peer reviewer yourself, as long as you disclose this. It's better, however, to provide comments in your decision letter directly. The peer reviewer, at the end of the day, must provide a qualified and unbiased assessment of the paper. So is there an area you would like a second opinion in, or where you're comparably less informed? Peer review is here to support you in your role as an academic editor. Firstly, it will support and strengthen your conclusions as a subject matter expert, but additionally, it can support in areas that you're maybe less knowledgeable. Overall, peer review is intended to improve the evaluation of scientific research. Any conclusions you've come to will be strengthened by additional opinions. Viewpoints different from your own may be introduced with additional questions or concerns, and a wide range of expertise helps to ensure all aspects of the proposed research have been thoroughly checked. There are many ways for you to find suitable researchers to invite for peer review. Firstly, there's the Web of Science Review Locator tool can be within EM. In Editorial Manager, when you click the action link Invite Reviewers, this tool will provide a list of suggested reviewers from the Web of Science database. Click on the View Researcher Profile and Publications, and a potential reviewer's Web of Science profile will open in a new window. Keep in mind that before inviting anyone, you still need to vet them for expertise match, appropriate seniority, and avoid any potential conflicts of interest. It's still just a suggestion list, so you will need to check their publications, but we encourage you to make more use of it. External searching is also an option, looking for publications which have similar keywords in their abstracts and titles. Web of Science, Google Scholar, and PubMed are all great tools for this, plus using your own knowledge and resources. You can look for similar papers to the one you're acting as an editor for, and see who published them or acted as editors on them. These are good indications of similar research backgrounds, and people who will be able to evaluate the manuscript you're handling. Citation lists from the paper you're handling are also a great resource for similar researchers. Be careful to double check that they're truly on topic for the paper, as they might have been cited as an opposing view, or have limited scope of the main topic of research. Also, be mindful of conflict of interest issues, as this source is riskier. These citations are more likely to have been co-published with the authors, or work in the same institute recently. Make sure to be vigilant when checking these possible conflicts. Finally, don't use the EM reviewer database, as it's not curated. There's no organised management of this, and anyone can be added by any other editor. Contact information might not be up to date, and research areas are seldom provided. It's generally a poor resource, so don't go looking. What to look for in peer reviewers? Well, these are the essential checks. Firstly, their publication record. Have they published at least 5 papers on the topic, preferably as corresponding or as last author? Their research area. Do they have expertise in this research area? And if possible, also the methodology. Are they at the postdoctoral or equivalent degree level in their field? And are they affiliated with an institute? Academic, government, non-for-profit, public or private, any of them will do. Finally, can we avoid competing interests and unbiased perspectives? At PLOS, we describe conflict of interest issues as not working at the same institute as any of the authors, not being listed as an opposed reviewer on the submission, not having collaborated or published with any of the authors in the last 5 years, and not being located at the same institute as another reviewer. We want to avoid all appearances of an unbiased review. Finally, here are some tips and tricks from other editors on our board. The full list of this can also be found online. Their feedback is that early career researchers are better, as they tend to have more time and willingness to review than senior researchers. Personalising the review template also helps, especially if you know the reviewer personally, because it helps them know who's inviting them and why you think they're perfect to review. You can also pick a senior researcher and encourage them to co-review with someone they supervise. This takes some work off of their plate, while also giving an early researcher a chance to handle papers. Finally, your personal lists are a great resource. As you attend conferences, mentor early career researchers, and interact with your community, keep in mind the impact you can have on the peer review process. Think about what to look for in a reviewer, what makes a good reviewer, and encourage early career researchers to take part in open peer review, where they can get credit for their work to help build their experience and network. Just be mindful of competing interests and avoid over-relying on the same individuals across manuscripts. You don't want to exhaust the reviewer pool. Finally, a diverse and varied review board is something which PLOS is committed to. We have further guidance on DEI and peer review online, as we strive to ensure our peer reviewers reflect the wide and varied backgrounds we see in research today. PLOS is committed to DEI in all of their work, and you can review our recent statement on this matter on our website. Finally, I'd like to draw your attention to a really useful tool in EM to organise your reviewer invites. The alternate reviewer function is found within EM within the Invite Reviewers action link. As seen in the screenshot, to invite the reviewer, click the invite box, but to send them up as an alternate reviewer, click the alternate box. Alternate reviewers are automatically invited once the invited reviewers decline. These initial invites are sent automatically, only when someone declines or times out of their initial invite. This is a great tool, as it will firstly minimise your work in allowing you to research and find all suitable reviewers in one sitting, and then your invite queue can continue to work in the background. You also won't need to log in and out of EM so often to send invites. Everything goes at once, and you can get on with other work until the needed reviewers have agreed or the queue has run out. All invites are sent automatically without you having to oversee them. Finally, it can also minimise the number of reviews you need to assess or replies you'll need to respond to. Sometimes, if you invite lots of reviewers at the same time, you can have more than the needed number agree, and then provide a review, all of which you'll need to assess and respond to. The alternate reviewer function makes sure a new person is invited only when a previously invited one declines, and keeps these numbers manageable. Finally, from the author side, the reviewer invitation process is still happening, so if authors check in with PLOS, we can tell them that invites are still being sent out. It's overall a very helpful tool to manage and stagger your queues, and we encourage you to explore and use it more. Thank you for your attention today, and please do get in touch if you have any questions. To speak to journal staff, please use the journal-specific points of contact listed on our website, and any questions can be sent to journal email inboxes. Thank you and have a good day.